So what really are we doing? And it's like I don't I didn't come in here today to kind of jump on that. I came to kind of just say like we as a people have a choice to make.
Real.
You know, like do we really want to live like this? Do we really want to stand here and watch these people take away the things that we knew were solid laws and values that this country stood on as a honor of liberty, an honor of justice,
Bro,
freedom,
it's crazy, bro.
whatever you called freedom or thought freedom would look like in this country. You know what I mean?
We never really experienced freedom in this country. Let's get that.
Hell no. But
We never were free from anything because we paid so
that
much.
my thing is it don't mean that we have to live like that, especially being under these guidelines and laws that they are trying to take away from us. Because as a human being in this country, you have rights and protections
Yep.
as long as you're on this land.
I was floating around and I noticed that a lot of our colleagues, I want to say, in inside of the underground musician world, all
Yeah.
the different the people connected to our communities, they are creating different podcasts and they are starting to speak out. And my thing is, I don't know how somebody can, because Lit Squad used to be like completely about
Music.
exposure to the artists, and
Yeah.
we've always done that. I love when our artists join in with us and they have a good time. That's great,
Right.
and get their exposure and get to freestyle or whatever it is that they do and want to just enjoy time with us. But with a time like now that we are going through so much and nobody wants to
Right.
turn on that TV to see what's going on. Nobody wants to pay attention. I'm watching these other podcasts that started out years ago, like when I did, and they just like disregard the fact that the entire country's falling apart, and they're still, oh, straight like I'm Hot Boy or I'm Miss Sassy, and check out my podcast. I got the best whatever artist is in my clique that I'm gonna support and not add anybody else to it. And it's like they're disregarding the whole fact that you cannot avoid what's going on in our country.
No. That's
I
a
mean,
real fact.
yeah, like so I actually like that we did a switch of a turn with the Lit Squad podcast. I love my musicians, that my fellow musicians and producers and my videographers and
Yeah.
agents that I know and A&Rs and everybody. You guys make the world of music fantastic and
And
keep
shout
doing
out
what
to
you
every artist that I know for sure, because y'all know
do.
how
Yo,
we go. The Blind MC is always a band in the background just
bro,
waiting to get his next laugh on the roof of the mic. But most definitely, man,
shout
like
out,
I come in
bro.
to kind of like correct the era of like how we may have switched the game whenever we speak on
I say
the differences
shout out
between hip
to
hop,
everybody.
rap,
Shout out,
stuff like that, because for me it's a different scenario. I take it a little bit more personally, more to the level of rap and hip hop. That all evolved from hip hop, if you ask me. Hip hop
guys, can I pick
started
up a little bit?
something for people to get into a good more informed. It was down to the point of you can enjoy yourself, but you can also learn something, because there were artists that created their hip hop songs back in a certain classic prime era of hip hop before the gangster rap came into the format, more or less. So I'm just saying, we heard, we learned, we hit hard with the street knowledge about what was going on in our environment, not just in you know the famous people's world, so to speak. You know, so what I feel like when we think about this is we need to evaluate. We marked over 50 years right now in hip hop alone,
Yeah.
you know. So with this new quarter century, so, you know, what really are we showing the music
Well,
world and people that love?
that's what I was getting at. My thing is like with all the great, fantastic musicians that's joined on our show since we started this new season
Hmm.
that we have been and being that we are almost a full 6 months in for
Yep,
our first season back in like a year.
yep, yep.
And I am so excited and I was honored to have those people with us that shared their not only their opinions on their musical journey and
Hmm.
getting their exposure by us with the musical journey, which is a beautiful part of our show. That
Yep.
it's basically for musicians by musicians, but then we also kind of brung in the fact of we're not just
No,
musicians and
no.
we are outspoken people and we are Americans and we are going to speak on what makes America America, which is
Hmm.
the creativity level, the cultures, the amount of different culturistic people that we've had from different backgrounds on our show these past 6 months were incredible.
So
It was
I'm
awesome.
being honest.
it, it
I'm
was
just being honest from what my self experiences are, and honestly, if any credit goes to anyone, it's you, really, because I really just didn't think I was able to jump into these live streams like this and be a functional person again. Because with my own show, that's part to the reason why I paused and haven't been back, sort of. And I mean, we started here on IG with the PZ show. So I mean, at the end of the day, it was almost like, I mean, where are
yeah,
you,
but
sir?
you also have
We need to hear
you
something
got to
from you, and I
give yourself
appreciate you
a pat
for
on the
bringing
back.
me back.
You as well have to give yourself a pat on the back. You have been giving so much information and putting things in layman's terms
Mm.
to the masses of people. We are up to like 16,000 views on these live streams, giving informational stuff straight from the heart as regular
For real,
people.
for real.
And,
Cause
and
I mean,
that's
we
huge,
love
bro.
this country. We're just people who really love this country. We love our families, and we
We're,
love the things
we're the
that we like to do
we're what make people.
while we're with these people. So what more to say other than I know I'm gonna die for my family because I do for my family, and I will do for my family if need be. And that just is what it is because that's who started this situation for me. So at the end of the day, if it ain't God, I don't know I don't know what's going on, and I'm here to tell you that I love you and I care for you, no matter what. You know what I mean? And we done been through some ups and downs, and if you done been with me that long, then obviously you know it's gonna hurt me more than it hurt you.
Yeah.
Just
You got to fix it
saying.
a little down. You got to put it up a little bit more because I can see up to your nose, but I can't see your whole.
That's why. Okay, because the camera
Yeah,
view is low, the
but
table is low.
yeah, the table was low. All right, I can see it
Yeah,
now.
I'll pick it up. I get it better for you. I'll pick it up. But nah, just saying, like it's really one of those situations where you're really just trying to tell people, like, listen, I don't mean no harm, but some of this ain't right. This this, this and where are the people that are all, all shots alarms? Like, we are in a critical situation where our whole country is being taken over by somebody who has no regards for the care of the people that make this whole thing tick. You dig me? So it's just a lot of this stuff is really just like, if you aren't paying attention, it's why you don't care,
Yeah.
if you get what I'm saying. And I'm not saying listen to all the Fox Newses, even CNN right now is on some bullshit. So let's just keep it a buck, fam. Like,
True.
get to a place where you find some people that are caring about policies that you see on polling that says 95% of people give a fuck about this shit.
That's
Because
true.
obviously it makes sense to deal with people that care about these problems that are problems, not only in my place, your place, over there across the country on the other side of freaking the coast. You know what I mean? Like we need to do this for our communities as a neighborhood, and honestly, it's where it starts because once you realize how valued and precious your neighborhood is, you start treating it a lot better. Then you start realizing, ooh, okay, if I should be good at doing this, look at how my town look. Look at how my people are getting. They're all happy. They see the streets is nice. And these are the things that help build morale in other people. And they see that positivity. And they say to themselves that there's hope outside because that looks a lot better than what is going on out here.
Yeah.
You dig me? So I mean, I'm only talking this because I think about so many different things that I passed up even when I was younger. I used to run outside and go playing in, landfills that they had at one point before they had made developments around this little cul-de-sac. It was a place where people dump shit at. And I go out there and play building shit, trying not to get fucking tetanus. you know? But not a care in the world, even though there was so much weird shit going on even around me then. So, I mean, it's one of those situations where you start to think deeper about the things around you, what really values you, what you really value more than anything.
The
You know what I mean?
the I think the problem is with that is that people are really in this like it's like 1,000 problems, but then we
Mm-hmm.
only so many a day. So because there's so much PTSD, there's so much anxiety, everything's costing more
Yep.
money. It's taking longer for us to create the comfortability of a financial stability.
Right.
I mean, it's hard for the average American like us to just get by after paying all those damn bills and just
Mm.
not being able to be as comfortable as we used to be maybe last year or year before. We
Right.
I mean, my birthday's coming up, and I don't have the budget as what I was trying to do for. I was
Right.
actually going to try to get some artists together and create a venue, a showcase for my birthday. Unfortunately, it's not that easy right now, and just the fact that rent has gone up, the light company's taxes are higher now, so the
Mm-hmm.
bill is higher. Wi-Fi is going up. What's going on? And the food ain't getting no cheaper. It is actually going up. So
Yeah.
going up, but the amount of money they're paying us at the jobs
Oh
and the
my God.
wage is not
That
going up.
is just the conversation I was just having today. I mean, and I hate to say it in the sense of me, because even at the pay rate that I make, under the stipulations and the fact that I'm still receiving disability because yes, I am still technically disabled. What do
Yeah,
you expect? Like, and
yeah,
then it's not even SSI, it's SSD, bro. I work for that, so and I'm still paying into that. So what are we talking about when it comes to the fact that I only have a certain amount I can make? I'm at a cap. I'm not supposed to make a certain amount every
you're not.
month
You're not.
financially from my
This,
job if I wanted to.
the problem is this is the problem that we have that for all of our fellow family members and friends that are in housing authority.
Mm-hmm.
How long is that going to last? Are they going to be taking that away because there's not enough funding for people who
Right.
can afford
That
medication and they are stuck on a regimen?
that's the hitch that people are falling short on paying attention
They're
to
stuck
because
on
in
a
in
lot.
that in that bill there's so many other things as far as including things like that. There's programs that are incorporated into the funding that they're taking away. So that is part of the things that are inclusive. Your housing funding, your medical funding. Whenever you walk into a hospital on an emergency and they cover your cost, they automatically give you care. That alone is the most valuable thing right now that American citizens have as citizens of this country. And if you get taken out of that coverage, you realize how things were back in like the early 90s.
Yeah. See, this
That was
what
terrible.
people don't realize is, bro, they
Medicare didn't do
hear it.
shit for you
They
as
don't.
far as
They
health
don't
care costs.
hear. The problem is they too busy trying to live in a fantasy world instead of realizing this is actual reality.
Right.
You know, get offline. Once we stop making music, once we stop trying to be like, all hot boys or hot girls and all that junk in the club, after you done wasted all your money up, you still got to realize this is
This is
reality.
still
This is
reality.
reality. What we're talking about, the fact that the average American is struggling to try to survive because of the amount
Yep.
of change that this administration has done in the last 6 months is historical and actually hitting us, and we're going to be slammed with huge recession. There's huge storms coming our way. Nobody's talking about that underneath the ocean. And if you haven't looked inside of our Lit Squad podcast page to see and verify this and check it out on Google and NOAA, there really is a mile long volcano underwater that is like ready to go. And if it does explode, it will send off 10,000 earthquakes at the same time. It's off the coast of
Mm-hmm.
Oregon. It will affect our west coast of America. And then we have a
Mm-hmm.
fault line that's there. And for anybody that doesn't understand fault lines, it's kind of like if you looked at the Grand Canyon, but then imagined it under the water. That's what we have over there. So they are concerned that those 10,000 earthquakes that possibly will erupt when that volcano underwater that's a mile long erupts, what's going to happen? It's going to cause a lot of chaotic things to happen here for us, here in America. These things are real. This is not make believe. This is not AI that you're watching. This is real things that's happening. It's not AI.
Right.
Everything we have on our page, we verify before we put it on our page. Now we have like maybe two AI videos, but then we put like laughing emojis or something crazy. If you see it on our page, best believe that we already went through a whole bunch of channels to make sure that that material is verifiable. You know,